Hey YouTubers, welcome back to Desert Have a Garden. Today I am going to show you when and how to harvest sunflower seeds from sunflower heads on a sunflower plant. So as you can see, this plant here, the flowers are starting to dry out. You can hear that they're crunchy and the petals are starting to fall off, and that's about the time that we want to cut these off. You don't want to let them get so dry that the seeds are too dry to roast. So you want to keep a little bit of moisture, and then you can finish drying by hanging them indoors, and then you can roast your seeds or replant them. And so you can see this plant has begun to droop. You see how it's heavy and it's drooping over. And so this is going to be time to harvest them. Now we have one other plant that hasn't even put on its sunflower yet. I'm guessing that's about 9 feet tall now, that plant, and it's looking lovely. So hopefully we'll get a later sunflower on it. So what you want to do, and this one is actually 2 flowers on 1 stalk. So it's got 1 stem here. And so we're going to cut it about 4 inches down in order to hang it and be able to allow it to dry a little bit more indoors before we roast it. So let me see if I can hold this camera and be able to catch the flower. We're going to start cutting it. Yep, I'm definitely going to have 2 hands for this. Okay, I'm gonna have to look back and see how much of that you could see. I was holding it in my chin. Okay, so here are 2 lovely sunflower heads. There's lots and lots of seeds in there, and we have a stem to hang it by. So I'll take this inside and put it in a paper bag just to make sure that nothing drops off of it, and then I will allow it to dry a bit before I go ahead and roast these seeds. I will save a few just to replant next year, but we're definitely looking forward to having some delicious sunflower seeds. Now I'll clean up the sunflower head just a little bit before I start the drying. So all you simply do is rub your hand in order to loosen up these little, I guess they are like little flower heads all over it. And so you just brush those off of there, and it reveals the seeds that you're probably familiar with seeing. So you can see that they have those black stripes on them, and depending on your variety, it'll have more or less black striping. Some of them are solid black. But the reason I harvest these before they get completely dry is, 1, because I don't want the seeds to dry out too dry to where I can't roast them. But additionally, you don't want the local birds and things to start munching on them, and then you won't have any seeds left for yourself. So you want to make sure that if you are going to leave them on and you see that there's already a problem with deer, if you're in that kind of an area, or birds, rats, mice, you might want to cover it up with some sort of a netting in order to keep it out, though rats and mice will go right through a netting. So if you start seeing some things eating them and you can't protect them, it might be a good time to just start harvesting. I don't see any problem with harvesting them at this stage once the petals are dry, in order to let it finish drying indoors, and that way you protect your harvest. So here is our nice cleaned up sunflower head. And you can see that it's just this really cool twin. Where it has these 2 flowers coming out of 1 stem. I just think that's really neat. Sometimes nature does really cool things. So there is our cleaned up sunflower head.
There it is.
And we will put it in for drying a little bit longer, and then we will enjoy these seeds. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more updates in the future.